Hi, I'm Mateo, and today I'm back on Anime Vanguards to show you how you can make tons of gems and other items overnight. It is really important that you understand how this method works because you could pretty much use it for everything else in the game that you want to grind, whether that be essence stones, trade rerolls, or whatever. So if this video does help you out, remember to give it a like and subscribe for more helpful Anime Vanguards content. Now let's get straight into how this works. Alright you guys, so as you can see, I am in game in Anime Vanguards and I have over 180,000 gems. Now this comes just a week after I spent all of my gems getting every single last unit in the update 1. So I'm pretty much fully prepared for the next update to come out and to get all of the new units. Despite what it says down here, I have all of the units in the game besides Alucard, as well as the 2 leaderboard units. And honestly, I've just been really unlucky with Alucard, but I think I'm gonna get him pretty soon. Now, since it has been 7 days since I spent every single last one of my gems, that means on average I've been making like 25,000 diamonds a day, and that's after not setting up my macro for a couple nights this week. So that is still pretty good, and I'm going to show you how you can make this much diamonds every night as well. It's actually very easy, and I think this is currently the best method in the game. Now, a bonus of doing this method is that you're also going to get a ton of these cursed fingers. Now, as you guys know, cursed fingers you can spend over here in the cursed shop in order to buy stat chips, green essence stones, super stat chips, as well as trade rerolls. As you can see, I've already bought out everything in the shop, so I actually have no use for cursed fingers at the moment, unless I just wanted to buy a bunch of extra 6 eyes. So currently the best way to grind gems in Anime Vanguards is currently by just farming a infinite level. Now obviously currently the best one to do is going to be in Shibuya Station, because you are going to be able to get these cursed fingers as well as these really good transfigured souls, which give you a lot of XP as food for your units. I also have maxed out these, so I have 10,000, which pretty much means I can level up every single unit that I ever get in this game. Now, in order to do this macro, you are going to need the program tiny task. Now, make sure you have continuous playback on, and personally, I have it on play custom speed 8 for this method, but honestly, you could use play speed 1 if you want, but I think play speed 8 is like the sweet spot for this. Now, what you're going to want to do is go into Shibuya Station, load up an infinite run, and then once you are in the beginning part of this infinite run, all you're going to want to do is zoom completely out like this. Go to this bottom cogwheel, click spawn, and then from here, you're going to want to exit out of this and just press yes, and then you're going to go ahead and lose this level. And the reason why you zoom out and teleport to spawn is that you can actually reuse this macro over and over again when you do this. So after you're done setting up this macro, you can go here and save it, and then you can pretty much open this anytime to set this up instantly, so that next time when you go ahead and want to AFK, you don't have to load into this level and actually lose it. To start, you could just load in, teleport to spawn, and zoom out, and then start the macro, and it's going to work perfectly fine. So really quickly, I'm going to speed up to when I lose this level so we can set up this macro. So I'll see you in a second. Now, one thing I should mention is that you can do this with any characters in the game. You don't need anybody specifically. Now, the unit I suggest for this and the unit that I use is Vegeta. But if you are trying to get the cursed fingers, the only stipulation is that the unit that you use should be able to kill that boss without any upgrades or anything. Now, the beautiful thing about this macro is that you also don't need to get to any specific wave for it to be effective. You just need to be able to survive to like at least wave 15 to 20. That's really the sweet spot where I make the most gems overnight. So I personally can do that with just placing down 4 Vegeta, but you might have to play around with your units to see which unit will let you to get around that area. If you get past level 20, it also doesn't matter. And honestly, if you get below level 15, it also doesn't matter that much. So what you're going to want to do to set up this macro is know what your recording and playback hotkeys are. And then to start the recording off, you're just going to click in the middle here, click retry, click yes, and then you're immediately going to place whatever units you want, whatever units you think will let you get to wave 15 to 20. So for me, that's personally just placing these 4 Vegetas. But if you do want to get like more takedowns on some other unit, like for Chozo here, I'll just place 1 Chozo, and then I can just set the recording to go overnight from here, and that's all. So you could basically set it on whatever speed you want, because essentially it's just going to keep trying to place these units over and over again in these same spots. And And hopefully these units will be able to kill all of the enemies at least up until wave 15. So if I play back the recording, you could see it going here. What it's going to do is try to place these units in all of the spots that I placed these in, and then eventually my units are going to get overran and I'm going to lose the level. But because we started this macro on the screen where we failed, it's going to automatically skip through and start the level over again. As you can see, 16 gems every single wave that you get through. So it doesn't really matter how many waves you get through, because once you actually lose, you are going to restart and continue making gems. Now this method is just so good overnight, and sometimes you'll get lucky and this Sakuno boss will spawn, and this is actually what drops the cursed fingers. So whatever setup you do decide to use, just make sure it's able to actually kill this boss, just so you can get those fingers and buy out everything in that cursed finger shop. And really quickly, I will let this play out until I'm about to lose, so I can show you guys what happens when you actually do lose the infinite. All right, you guys, so I accidentally placed down one too many units, so we are gonna get past level 21, which is okay. We are currently at 272 gems, which is pretty good. And you guys are gonna be able to see what happens when you actually lose the level. Using this macro, it's automatically gonna start up another one right away. So this method is very good. You guys have to trust me. So it took me 10 minutes and 17 seconds, and we made 288 gems, which comes out to about 1685 gems an hour. And if we multiply that by 24, that means on average, using this method, you are going to make 40,000 gems a day. Now, the only thing that really slows down this method is the fact that Anime Vanguards begins to lag after a while of using this macro. To my knowledge, it's something that the Anime Vanguards devs are trying to fix, and there's nothing you can really do to get around it. My only suggestion would just to be to check up on this macro every 8 hours or so and just restart your game and start it again. The beautiful thing about this macro as well is once you have it saved, you can actually basically just leave the game, and when you rejoin, you could start it right back up again. So if we rejoin here, head back over into Shibuya Station. It's really easy to set up. I just suggest doing this every 8 hours or so, because that seems to be when the lag really seems to pick up. And if you are able to reset this every 8 hours, I think you will be very close to making 40,000 gems a day by doing this method. So again, just remember to zoom all the way out, teleport to spawn, and then you can start the macro, and it's gonna work just perfectly fine. I'm telling you guys, this is how I make plenty of gems in Anime Vanguards. And like I said, you can do this with any unit. If you wanted to make it even further in Shibuya Station, you could just go ahead and place all of the units that you have in your lineup down. Personally, I just like to make it to that wave 20 mark, because that seems to be the sweet spot where you tend to make a ton of gems overnight. If you don't make it to wave 20, you are still going to be making quite a bit, because you're going to be able to do more levels an hour. So it really just ends up working out, so I wouldn't stress about it too much. So by using this method, I was able to max out my cursed fingers as well as get unlimited of that highest tier food. So hopefully this video helped you out, and if it did, remember to give it a like and subscribe for more helpful Anime Vanguards content. Hope to see you guys in the next one, and peace out.